on Victoria Street, the Inaccessible City project. So we've got Adrian Thane joining us by Zoom, and we've got Lynette and Richard on the call already on Zoom as well. So Adrian, have we got you there to present this report, please?
I don't think you have. I think he's had tech issues this morning and he can't get it to work. So you've got me, I'm afraid, if that's all right.
All right, that's perfect. Lynette, thank you very much indeed. So over to you.
So look, I'll give you a few, I've got a few bullet points of an introduction, but predominantly we'll take the report as read. Victoria Street was a road network and public realm improvement project off the back of the Central City Recovery Plan. It included a 30k speed limit, cycle, PT improvements, but a big focus on a walking and public amenity improvement. We had 2 rounds of consultation and quite a gap in between the development of this project. Construction was awarded just prior to the first lockdown, just over 2 years ago. But it was what we did get was a really well-resourced team that was really focused on program and communication. They also managed to complete. They didn't start until after the first lockdown, and they managed to complete within 6 months the substantive works, and we also completed a big stormwater main and lateral upgrade along that street as well. Look, the staff have done a lessons learned. They do acknowledge that there should have been, we could have improved our communication with the stakeholders, particularly when there was that delay between the 2 consultation periods with the project. So we are looking now at what we do when we do have significant project delays and how we keep the local stakeholders updated. There was a lot of noise at the start of the project around the potential for construction disruption, and what we've learnt from that, and we're doing more often, is a lot more engagement with communities and our contractors to ensure we're giving them complete advice and options, and they're more engaged in the process of choosing how we do this. Is it hard and fast and a lot of disruption, but we get in and we get out, or do we take a little bit longer and not be quite as disruptive? So we have those conversations with our communities more. There was a bit of a risk in this one that didn't eventuate, but we do acknowledge in that we had some significant materials that were reasonably bespoke and were coming from offshore that did have a potential to cause us delays, but it didn't. So that was a fingers crossed, and we won on that one. So overall, look, the project, Victoria Street looks lovely. It's a really lovely space to be down. It's got a lovely cultural narrative running through it. But it was also a project that brought the contractors worked very, very hard, communicated exceptionally well with the stakeholders, but were also able to be agile and adjust their program to meet the needs. So when we stepped out of lockdown and the community turned around to us and said, we've never, if you're going to do this, do it now, but get in and get out, which they did. They adapted to that and changed their program from close to 12 months to 6, so which is a big change for a contractor. So that's my intro.
All right, thank you very much indeed. So moving to questions on this one, Phil.
Thank you, Lynette. One of the things I noticed when this job was done, that we were able to shut one-lane traffic. Are we going to try and do that more on jobs? Because I know what it's like as a contractor to try and keep 2 lanes. So are we going to try to encourage this going forward, please?
What I am going to encourage is that we look at all the options, we assess the pros and cons, and we have that conversation with the community. And that's what we did in this instance. We had that conversation with the community and said, if you can live with us shutting the road, we can probably do it in this amount of time. And they were like, yep, get on with it. So I would rather we looked at all the options, and where we can, we have a conversation with the affected community and find the best one. Because yes, I agree, it's really hard for contractors. One example where we did something even more extreme was, and Riccarton, when we were doing Riccarton Road through the Riccarton shops, we completely shut the road for a weekend and did what would have taken us probably 2 or 3 weeks in 2 days.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much. Anne.
Yeah, kia ora. Hi, Lynette.
Kia ora.
Thank you. Just thinking about what the lessons learned and the engagement, particularly around engagement, that seems to be requiring an extra resource. How does that work? Where do you build it into the projects going forward? Is there anything more that is needed in terms of budget and things to achieve those results?
There's definitely a budget impact when you're trying to achieve those results because there is additional resource. But what we did and what we did with the Central City projects was council required that moving into that project. So we said, we want you to identify who your key communications person is going to be, and they need to be identified and what proportion of the project they're going to be on there. And we said up front, we expect someone full time on this. I think in fact they had 2 or 3 people, and at least one was full time and the others were on a lot. I think one of the successes from the contractor's point of view down that road was that communications person developed a working relationship with every business down that street, popped her head in the door every day or every other day, and they knew her, and so they were prepared to come out and talk when there were concerns and raise their concerns, and then we found solutions and got them adjusted, because it's the contractor that's got to manage that relationship when the disruption's happening.
Thank you for that. I mean, obviously it's all about relationships, which takes time and energy. So thanks for that. It's good to know it's happening.
Good.
Any further questions on this closeout report? All right, thank you. So we've got a recommendation to receive the information in the report.
I'm happy to move.
Jimmy will move. Do I have a seconder?
Yes.
I'll second.
Pauline will second. Is there any debate? Jimmy.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Chair. Because based on the highlight the kind of report, we can see there's a very, very good, successful report. Because the first one, we achieved the objective, particularly regarding to all those set up objectives, all to be fulfilled, like a slower speed zone, 30 kilometers per hour, safer for pedestrians, and safer for cyclists, etc. Second one, the Lynette replied to the particular to the end getaway, the factor. I think that's very important. Should be to be the good model and pattern for some other project, particularly regarding to the consultation and engagement. If they can, to be the implement, maybe some other project we should be the follow. Particularly, you can see even in design the stage, construct stage until the completion, they all have this positive stakeholder consultation and also the engagement. We need to, to take this one a good model, to spread over to some other project. Also, finally, this schedule is ahead. The 6 months for the original schedule. That's perfect, Thank you.
Thank you. Pauline.
Oh, cheers. Look, yeah, similar to Jimmy. Look, I just want to say that I was involved in a lot of the engagement meetings at that time, and I really want to commend the staff on the approach that they used. It was incredible. This was, I think, the first project that was council delivered in the accessible cities. Prior to that, it had been delivered, most of the roads have been delivered by another agency. And so understandably, people were very, very concerned about what would happen in Victoria Street, and particularly the impact on the businesses down there. And this really, I think we're all really proud of the way this was delivered in such an efficient and timely manner with the least disruption, and the result is fantastic. So all credit to the staff there who ran a fantastic engagement process. They were very, very patient and kind and upfront with questions and answers. We had great big maps out on tables. It was no rush. People really felt heard and they really felt they could contribute. So, yeah, well done. I just want to say well done, everyone. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Is there any further discussion? All right, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? That's carried. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. So now moving to